Speaker, I hereby move a motion of urgent public importance on the uprise of cultism in Nigeria. The House notes that cultism in Nigeria dates back to 1962, particularly in the institutions of a higher level. Informed that it started as fraternities with motives of maintaining law and order on campuses. Further notes that our universities, primary and secondary schools are proper places for education of our youth and children in character and in learning. Further informed that our youth and children have developed a higher concept in learning, both formal and informal knowledge in theory and practicals. Aware that secret cultism has become a threat to our higher institutions of learning, it is shocking to hear that even children who are in some primary and secondary schools aged between 8 and 16 years now belong to secret cults. Further aware that the effects of secret cult organizations on our youth and children are greatly negative, and concerned that if not tackled, it will continue to eat down into every part of the society with more effects on individuals, families, schools, religious settings, and the society at large.
This problem. And one of the things I think we can do is to insist that culprits are brought to book, those who are guilty of offenses in our nation, no matter their background, should be brought to book. So among these children who are involved in cultism, the children of the rich should not be protected from the long arms of the law. If we can insist and apply the law, the full wrath of the law, on everyone who is guilty of arson, rape, and every vice that these young people are getting involved in, murder, if we insist and we carry out the measures as defined by the law, cultism, the menace will begin to go down.
Where we can address it is the one raised by the last speaker on issues whereby informations of these students should be kept, whether your father is a rich man or not. And when you are involved in such cultism and your information is known, you make sure you don't get admission in this country. I think that's the way to address that one very well. Another issue is the National Orientation Agency. We should be able, this National Assembly should be able to empower the National Orientation Agency to be able to do really serious advocacy. Serious advocacies in our primary schools, serious advocacy in secondary school, serious advocacy and university. Even among political class, who uses this cultism to be able to address one concern or the others in the election time.
My contribution is that this is a cankerworm that has been eaten into the society. It is not a day thing. This has been in the front for years past. And if we have to look into this, the parents too have their own share of the blame. It is easy for anybody to castigate the government for what they are not doing, or that the government should be at the receiving end. But one thing I know is that for a child to have been studying the parents from childhood, seeing the parents or the father, what they have been participating in, a father being a cultist from the beginning, and it is this child that will go into the society to go into this practice that is against the society. So as far as I'm concerned, all of us, we have an input and we have a part to play in this, to correct the anomalies that we have in the society. I don't want to subscribe to the fact that we will have to, that some of these children in the school will have to be rusticated.
Terrorism is a preparatory, cultism is a preparatory stage into terrorism. Sure. And we need to understand this very clearly. And why I say government should take a very keen role on this is government, I think, to my own understanding,
actually encourages all this. It's only in Nigeria, because we have other crimes like the United States, UK, and all that. Nobody does play with terrorism or cultism. They don't negotiate with them. But it's only in Nigeria here that we find government negotiating with terrorists. And you find out that when these kids move from cultism to terrorism, it's all about the money game for them. So my prayer would be we should concentrate more with government, trying to help these menace within society.
In churches, in mosques, if, for instance, if they can disemphasize on issue of preaching about financial and prosperity and focus on talking about moral things, talking about how our children in churches, because like in churches you have Sunday school, in such Sunday school, such things should be included, where the children can be taught that, look, whenever you see, report to us when you come to the next church, if in your school you see some students coming together and discussing how to deal with their fellow students, because it starts by when you see one of your students well dressed and the others begin to form envy, and they now decide to deal with that student for overdressing, or maybe in coming to school the parent brings the child with Bentley and the other one comes with maybe Lexus Jeep, and they begin to form an opinion of class. Once that can be disemphasized, it will help in curbing it.
Of decadence, they were already the same, whether it's education, whether it is the uniformed forces, whether it is even our politics. There is some level of deterioration that has degraded us, unfortunately. And if you look, why do students join cultism? Some do so for purposes of security. They want to be secure. Some others are challenged by the idea of confidence. They are not confident until they join one group or the other. Others are a matter of pride. They think they are bigger than they are when they join these groups. And as a society, as community, as university community, we have not provided the alternatives that will engage these young people. I remember that when we were growing up, once you finish your university and you're on vacation, you will be engaged one way or the other, either by way of youth programs. There were also vacation jobs. You could also be engaged teaching younger people who are in secondary schools. But these things are no more. And you know that the idle mind is also the devil's workshop. And you imagine,
Again, this cultism of the thing. Sometimes if you take a case to the DPO or to the area commander, you will find out that even before you get there, these cultists are already there. They must have been informed that somebody somewhere is coming after them. So even if our law enforcement officers are being infiltrated, they are now into Eye confraternity, KK, or what have you. This is anathema. It's terrible in our country, Nigeria. Mr. Speaker, just like this administration has said that these changes start from us. Permit me to say that these young ones, they look up to us. We must be a role model. Many of them are into this one way or the other, not because their parents are rich. No. Some of them, their parents are poor. But one thing in their mind is, well, this is Nigeria, anything goes. After all, our leaders have failed us.
Attacking themselves now, and there is fight all over. And you'll be wondering that primary school, it was shocking to hear that they are into cultism. So how do we go about this? Most of them join innocently. They do not know the extent and what it takes to be a cult member. What are the advantages?
what are the disadvantages, what is at stake, is my future at risk? All these they do not know. So if we go by the approach of Operation Catch Them Young, let the NOAA do their own quota, because most of them join because of the boredom. They don't know the meaning. They join because they are bored. Most of them join because of the influence of peer groups. Maybe a friend that the parent or the guardian is a court member. Maybe they see what they are doing, their activities.